Have you ever looked at the flags of Australia and New Zealand and wondered, wait, aren't they the same? You're not alone. Millions of people confuse these two flags every year. But once you know just two simple differences, you'll never mix them up again. Let's start by finding these two countries on the map. On the left is Australia, and on the right is New Zealand. Both are part of Oceania in the southern hemisphere and are separated by the Tasman Sea. Now that we know where they are, let's discover what makes their flags different. Before we compare the flags, here's a quick look at the countries themselves. Australia's capital is Canberra, while New Zealand's capital is Wellington. Australia has a population of about 27 million people and an economy worth around $1.7 trillion. New Zealand is home to about 5.3 million people, with an economy of roughly $250 billion. The people of Australia are called Australians, while the people of New Zealand are known as New Zealanders, although they are often nicknamed Kiwis. English is the main language spoken in both countries. New Zealand also recognises Te Reo Maori and New Zealand Sign Language as official languages, while Australia has no official language by law, even though English is used nationwide. So why do these flags look almost identical? The answer lies in history. Both countries were once part of the British Empire, and both based their national flags on the British blue ensign. That's why they share several of the same design elements. Let's begin with what they have in common. In the upper left corner of both flags is the Union Jack. This represents their historical ties to the United Kingdom and their shared British heritage. Both Australia and New Zealand are also members of the Commonwealth of Nations, making this an important symbol on each flag. Now let's take a closer look at Australia's flag. It has three main features. First, the Union Jack in the canton. Second, the large white Commonwealth Star directly beneath it. And third, 5 white stars representing the Southern Cross constellation. 4 of those stars have 7 points, while the smaller star has 5. Now let's compare that with New Zealand's flag. It also includes the Union Jack, but notice what's missing. There is no large star beneath it. Instead, you'll only see 4 stars representing the Southern Cross. They're red, outlined in white, and each has 5 points. Here's the quickest way to tell the two flags apart. Look directly below the Union Jack. If you see a large white 7-point star, it's Australia. If that space is completely plain blue, it's New Zealand. That's clue number 1. Now look at the stars on the right side of the flag. Australia has 5 white stars. New Zealand has only 4 stars, and they're red with white borders. So here's an easy way to remember it. White stars mean Australia. Red stars mean New Zealand. Although the flags look similar, they weren't adopted at the same time. New Zealand first flew its design in 1869 and officially adopted it in 1902. Australia introduced its flag after Federation in 1901, and the current version with the 7-point Commonwealth Star became official in 1908. More than a century later, New Zealand even considered changing its flag. In 2015 and 2016, the country held 2 national referendums. Voters first selected a preferred alternative, the silver fern design. They then voted between that design and the current flag. In the end, 56.6% voted to keep the existing flag, while 43.2% voted for the new design. So the current flag remained unchanged. Let's put everything together. A large white star below the Union Jack? That's Australia. A plain blue space below the Union Jack? That's New Zealand. 5 white stars? Australia. 4 red stars? New Zealand. Remember those 2 simple clues, and you'll never confuse these flags again. Before we finish, here's a fun geography fact. Australia is famous for kangaroos, but New Zealand doesn't have any native kangaroos at all. Why? Around 80 million years ago, the ancient landmass known as Zealandia broke away from Gondwana and later sank beneath the ocean. Australia stayed above water, allowing its unique mammals to survive and evolve. New Zealand, however, lost its native land mammals. That's why its native wildlife is dominated by birds, including the famous kiwi. And that's the story behind the flags of Australia and New Zealand. They share a common history, but each flag tells its own unique story. Now you'll be able to tell them apart in just a few seconds. If you enjoyed this guide, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more geography, history, and flag comparisons from around the world. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.